Today I will be explaining a part of economics that some students may find a bit challenging. I will start off by explaining what MPC is. MPC is the proportion of extra income spent on consumption. When an employee receives a higher income, how much of that income is spent on consumption? MPC is the increase in consumption when an increase of disposable income is $1. For example, in our periodic we had a question that said, when disposable income increased by $1, $0.25 of that income was MPC and $0.75 of that income was MPS. So technically, MPC was only $0.25 and MPS was only $0.75. MPC is also the slope of the consumption function. Now you may ask me, what is the consumption function? The consumption function is this function right over here. It is C is equal to C0, which is autonomous consumption, plus MPC times disposable income. Now C0 is when income is equal to 0. You can look over here. Disposable income is equal to 0, and the C0, which is autonomous consumption, is a constant horizontal line. Plus MPC. What is MPC? We just explained it over here. Now the formula of MPC to get the number is the change of consumption over the change of disposable income. So basically it's C2 minus C1 over YD2 minus YD1 times the disposable income. Now let's go over here. The abbreviation is MPC, but what is the word itself? Marginal propensity to consume. Over here, an increase in GDP or an increase in YD results in an increase in consumption. However, an increase in income results in a decrease in consumption. Why, you may say? Because an increase in income gives me the privilege of being able to save more. So why would I want to consume more if I can save more? So I would want to save more. That's why consumption decreases. Now, let's go over here. A shift upwards in the induced consumption line, when does it occur? It occurs when an increase in consumer confidence. For example, I am more confident, so I would want to consume more. Another example would be an increase in real wealth. I am wealthier, I have more money. Why not consume more? An increase in my permanent earnings. So I am sure my earnings are higher in the future, so I would want to consume more. Good expectations. Now, good expectations and consumer confidence are siblings, you could say. Ease of borrowing. When it's easier to borrow, it's easier to consume. Now, I have a trick for you guys to know why C0 is positive in the consumption function. When you're consuming for the economy, it's better, it's positive, it's good. So it's positive in the consumption function. MPS is an increase in savings when an increase of disposable income is $1. It's the same example that I gave for the MPC. MPS is the slope of the savings function. So this is the savings function graph. The savings function starts below the x-axis. The portion below the x-axis is called the dis-savings. When the savings function intersects the x-axis, which is the disposable income, that is called the break-even point. And then after it is the normal savings function. Now we will go to the formula of the savings function. The savings is equal to negative autonomous consumption plus MPC times disposable income. It is negative here, so that is why it starts at a negative point on the graph. Now I'll tell you a trick to why I had memorized why it's negative. I memorized it in thinking of when I'm saving, I'm keeping my money to myself. I'm being selfish. So that's bad for the economy. That harms the economy. That's negative for the economy. So think of it as it being negative. So we put a negative sign before the C0. Plus MPC. MPC is the change in S over the change in disposable income times YT. Now let's go on to the determinants of level of saving. The determinants mean what determines how much I want to save. The willingness to save, if I really want to save or if I do, depends on the person. The power to save is if I have enough income to save, if I'm confident enough to save. The facility to save. For example, here in Dubai, the facilities we have to save are extraordinary. The banks are amazing, they're very highly equipped. However, if we go to a developing country, it might be a little less safe or a little bit more insecure to save in a developing country because you never know what might happen with the money you put in the bank. So this summarizes the MPC and the MPS. Now let's move on to the APC and APS. APS is how much an average household saves out of the disposable income. It's just the average. Basically, it's average propensity to save. And APC is average propensity to consume. APS is savings over disposable income. What's the difference between APS and MPS? MPS is the change of savings over the change in disposable income. However, average is just the savings over just the disposable income. And here we can see when APS increases, when income increases, APS increases. Because people afford to save more at a higher income. APC, on average, how much households consume out of their disposable income. It's the same idea as APS. So APC is equal to C over YD. However, MPC is the change of C over YD, over the change of YD. When income increases, APC decreases. Why, you might ask? Because they will want to save more. They will afford to save more. So why should I consume more if I can save more and keep the money for myself, for my future? Now over here, these are all the formulas that I had just explained. There are three that I didn't explain, and I will go over them very fast because they're very, very easy. MPS and MPC can never be above 1. They always have to be between 0 and 1. So, MPS plus MPC is equal to 1. APC plus APS is equal to 1. They are very similar, they're kind of the same thing, and you can memorize them like that. Now, disposable income is equal to savings plus consumption, ceteris paribus. MPC and MPS are kind of siblings because the only difference is MPC is consumption and MPS is savings. APC and APS are siblings. The only difference is C and S. The consumption function is positive. It's good for the economy, so it's positive. C0 plus MPC times YD. Savings, it's bad, you're selfish, you're keeping all the money to yourself. It's negative. C0 plus MPC times YD. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you understood a lot. And if you have any more questions, you can leave them in the comments or you can come and text me privately. Thank you. Have a nice day.